I would say the number one thing was that it changed my confidence. Before this program, I would get really nervous for consultations, and I, by nature, have been a people pleaser for my whole life. So, when I had someone come in and they said, "Oh, their budget is this," I would try to accommodate them. But through this program, I really learned how to shift my mindset to uh, train my brain to realize that I am the prize, that I am valuable, and uh, I don't need to budge for my clients. So far, I've booked 12 clients. I've got deposits for about 15,000 right now, and then 35,000 to come. So in total, about 50K.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's only
Nice.
been like 4 months, so that's huge.
First, I like to start with like an easy question, which is like give us a quick 60-second rundown on who Alicia is, what your business is all about, and that good stuff.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor. So I've been doing photography since I was in high school, so it's been a long time. I won't say how many years. I don't want to give away my age, but it's been a long time. And I went to school for photography. And after that, I really struggled with the business side. I feel like I nailed all the photography techniques, but I was having a really hard time getting clients. So I couldn't rely on my photography income um, to like pay for everything in my life. So I struggled for a while. I've been doing weddings for 8 years now, and I was never able to get enough clients in the door. And I decided I needed to make a change. So that's where you guys came in and helped me out.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So you've been doing this for a while. When did you decide that you wanted to turn this into like a full-time career for yourself?
Last year, so sometime in the summer, is when I realized I really wanted to make this my full-time career.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
what was the push for you?
It's funny actually. I worked with another photographer and she reminded me of myself a lot, and I saw that she was really doing well. And then I just thought, why can't I? I mean, if she can do it, why can't I? I should be able to. So then I started thinking about what I needed to do, what I needed to invest to get to that point where I could make it my full-time job.
Okay, makes sense. How'd you even come to the conclusion that, let's say, you needed marketing help? Because a lot of people get into the trap of thinking that, oh, I just need to keep working on my craft, improving my portfolio, and over time, the clients will just appear.
Yeah, well, they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, right? So, what I've been doing hasn't been working. So I realized I needed to change something, and uh, that really was my knowledge of business and sales. I was never taught that in school, and that's what I've always struggled with. So that's pretty much what I was looking for.
Okay. And diving into your definition of insanity and the stuff that you did, what were you doing, like marketing wise, sales wise, to kind of promote your business, like before finding us?
To be quite honest, I really wasn't doing anything. I was just relying on word of mouth. And it's not enough. It's really not enough. And Instagram too, but yeah, I just feel like I needed to learn more about ads specifically to be more successful.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair enough. Do you remember off the top of your head, like what your business was doing revenue wise, like annually before us?
That's so embarrassing. I was probably pulling in like 10 or 15K per year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
not
mean,
much.
it's nothing to be like embarrassed about or honest or ashamed about. A lot of people, that's where you start. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like business, life, it's like a game. You have to like go unlock levels. So like, yeah, you were at level 0, so don't feel bad about it at all.
Yeah, but I was at level zero for a long time. So I'm ready to level up
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, okay, so you've been at level zero for a little while, feeling kind of like bummed out. You saw another photographer that you admired. She's crushing it, so you're like, I can do it too.
Yeah.
So, how did your path cross Rapid Bookings? Like, what made you want to reach out to us for help specifically?
Well, I started doing research on like mentorship programs, and obviously the algorithm picked up on that, and I started seeing your ads, and it looked like exactly what I wanted, and I booked the consultation, and then the rest is history.
Okay. Do you remember like top few key things that got you really excited about us?
Um, During my consultation, which was with Karen, she pretty much nailed everything that I wanted, and I was so impressed by that. And also, I met her with a lot of sales resistance, and she overcame all of that. And when she did that, I was so impressed. I was like, I need to learn to sell like you. Like obviously, you know the secrets if you can overcome my resistance. So that was kind of like the selling factor for me.
Got it. And were you like debating between us or somebody else? Because you said you were doing a ton of research.
Yeah, there was another photographer that I was looking at, but she wasn't actively trying to help, if that makes sense. Like she wasn't trying to book me on a consultation or anything. She wasn't really replying in a timely manner. So you guys really just got to me first, to be honest.
Okay, yeah. That's strange to me. I can't even imagine a world if you're not reaching back out to people actively.
Yeah, like she didn't want it that bad.
Okay, so it was more, I guess, passive income for
Yeah, exactly.
somebody. Cool, cool, cool. So, since joining the program, like what were kind of your personal key takeaways? Not monetary results, but like how did the program change you as a person?
I would say the number one thing was that it changed my confidence. Before this program, I would get really nervous for consultations. And I, by nature, have been a people pleaser for my whole life. So, you know, when I had someone come in and they said, oh, their budget is this, I would try to accommodate them. But through this program, I really learned how to shift my mindset to uh, train my brain to realize that I am the prize, that I am valuable, and uh, I don't need to budge for my clients. So confidence, mindset, those were the biggest things that I learned from the process.
Gotcha. And then let's talk about numbers. Number of clients booked, revenue wise, where are we at?
Yeah, so I started running ads in November, and so far I've booked 12 clients. I've got deposits for about 15,000 right now, and then 35,000 to come. So in total, about 50K.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's only
Nice.
been like 4 months, so that's huge.
So how do you feel about that?
I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I just feel like the world is my oyster, and there's so many opportunities opening up for me now. So I'm really looking forward to what the future holds.
Yeah, I mean, incredible job, Alicia. Like coming from a place where you were doing 10, 15 in an entire year to doing like 50 plus in just a few months. That's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you to you. You guys were amazing.
Huh, we try. Um, so let me ask you this. Like, what was a bigger result for you? Was it like you changing as a person, like having confidence, the mindset? Were you more excited about that or the monetary results? Like which one impacted your life more?
That's a good question. I feel like they're both kind of on equal footings. Um, yeah, it's hard to choose one over the other. Obviously, I'm really, really excited about the monetary aspect. I just bought my first home, so I'm really
Ooh,
excited. Yeah,
congrats.
thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's something to look forward to, and I just feel like um, my lifestyle is going to change now because of this. But the confidence thing, that's something that impacts me in all areas of life, not just business. So that's something that I'm really happy about as well. And I've been practicing like the affirmations every day and meditation, and all of that is really helping a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So tell me about your home. This is news to me. I did not know. Like, was this a planned thing? Like you were looking for homes or just like, you know what? I'm making money, so finally I can afford my dream home.
Yeah, it was a pretty um, recent choice. I started looking about a month ago, and I finally chose a place about 2 weeks ago. So it was really only a 2 week search, which was really quick. It's a condo in Toronto. So yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be all mine, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna have to tell Karen this. She's gonna be so excited to hear this. So, are you confident like what you've learned from the program and the results that you're seeing, like it's gonna actually help you continue the progress and kind of move towards your ultimate goal?
Yeah, 1,000%. These are skills that I'm going to be able to take with me and use for the rest of my life. So yeah, it was definitely worth it.
Yeah. So, what's next for Alicia? Like, what's the next level that we're trying to unlock?
The moon, eventually the stars. I mean, ultimately, I want this to become my full-time career. It's not yet, but that is the goal. And I want to be able to travel the world shooting weddings.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let here's one thing. A lot of people they see the success inside rapid bookings. A lot of people are like disbelievers. They're just like, oh, this is too good to be true, fake. I remember you commented, like somebody commented negatively on one of our ads, and then you like stood up for us. So just on the record, like if there's more people like that that are like disbelievers, they're seeing your success now and they're thinking, oh, this is BS. What would you say to that person?
Uh, just give it a try. I mean, I was kind of a disbeliever at first too. I was like, well, I was looking at your profile and everything, and I realized you're not a wedding photographer. And I was like, what does he know about wedding photography? But then I came to realize that you don't necessarily need to understand all the nitty gritties about wedding photography to understand how to sell yourself as a wedding photographer. Those are kind of different areas. And I feel like I already had a grasp on the wedding photography, so I didn't really need guidance in that area. But the sales and business is what I really needed to work on. And you're an expert in that. So I was like, you know, I don't care if he knows about wedding photography or not. He's an expert in sales, and that's what I need. And yeah, it was totally worth it.
Yeah, full transparency. I don't know anything about wedding photography. I can't teach you how to shoot. We do have wedding photographers on our team, so like you can pick their brain, but me personally, nope. But it has nothing to do with growing a business at all.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, rhetorical question, would you be recommending the program to another person, a friend, family member?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And then what advice would you have for new students that are coming to the program who are looking at your success now? How can they be the next Alicia?
Attend the coaching calls. That was such a game changer for me. Obviously the program in itself is like very valuable, but being able to come to you and Christina with, you know, specific questions and that pertain to you and your business, that has made such a huge difference to me, and actually implementing it. It's one thing to ask and get an answer and everything, but then to implement it and see the results from it, it's just huge. It's amazing, and it wouldn't have been the same without being able to attend those calls. So that would be like my number one thing, because I'm not sure if everybody attends them, and I feel like
Mm-mm.
they're really missing out, because that's like the gold to this
Yeah.
program.
Yeah, a lot of people just like go through the course materials and that's it. And they don't attend the coaching call, even though I like drill it into the head from day one. Like the most valuable section is to come talk to an actual human being, not watching pre-recorded videos.
100%. Yeah.
Um, I mean, these questions I'm just curious about because this is going to be more for our community. Like, what was your mindset like day one joining the program? Like, what are you thinking? What are you feeling that made you kind of take a lot of action and responsibility for your own life? Because not a lot of people have that level of commitment.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I just wanted it really bad at that point, and I was willing to put in the work to see success. Um, that's so important because if you don't want it bad enough, then you're not gonna try. So I was at that point where I was like, I will do everything that I need to do in order to make this work.
Yeah. Were you kind of all in because of the size of the investment, or were you just at a point in your life where you're like failing is not an option for me?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both actually. It's funny how the amount of money you actually spend motivates you because it's like you don't want to waste it.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely factored into it. And also just the pain of not being successful for so long. I was just sick of it. And I knew I needed
Yeah.
to change.
Yeah. There's a like an old saying, it's like those who pay attention.
I never heard
It's
that.
yeah, it's like a old saying in like coaching circles or whatever. And it's like saying that if you're not betting on yourself, if you're not betting on your future, you can say it as like, oh, because XYZ person is charging too much for their coaching, mentorship, whatever. But in reality, you're not betting on yourself. You're saying, I'm not worth it. My future isn't worth it. So I'm not going to take a chance on me. It's like kind of the same thing. It's like if you really like an item and the price is a lot more than you had anticipated, and when you say no to that item, you're actually saying no to yourself. You're saying, oh,
Mm,
I'm not worthy of this item at this price point. Let me go to
yeah.
somewhere cheaper.
Oh, I've never heard that. That's, yeah, very wise.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the way I view it. So, like, anytime I'm looking into anything, if I'm like, okay, this is something that I want, just a desire, like, you know what, I'm totally worth it. Like, I've worked my butt off. Like, let me go splurge a little bit. And then also, like, anytime I need something to grow, like the business, rapid bookings or whatnot, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm all in. Like, why would I not do something, even if it gives me 1% chance of succeeding? Like, the way that I think about it, it might be very controversial, but I would rather not be the person that's like 80 years old and living my life and looking back and being like so regretful. You know that saying like shoulda, woulda, coulda, like
Yeah.
through all of that.
Yeah, that's so true. That's funny because one of my deepest fears is like being on my deathbed and looking back at my life and saying I should have done something differently. I shouldn't have let fear guide my decisions and I should have, given life all that I got. So that was part of the driving factor for me doing this program. But I'm not gonna lie, after I booked with you guys, I didn't sleep well the first night because I was so scared. Um, but it's important to push yourself out of your comfort zone. That's something that I've learned from this. If you don't push yourself, you're never gonna grow.
Yeah, 100%. And another like mindset thing that you could take away from this call is like I like to have this perspective because you already talked about like or we talked about the 80-year-old self, right? So I like to have these two perspectives, the 80-year-old self and also the 8-year-old self. So my 80-year-old self doesn't want to have any regrets. He's probably going to look back on life and say like, man, you made a big deal out of nothing. Why? Why'd you let this stop you? We could have had a blast. And so it's like living that life of regret and chasing your full potential and not holding yourself back because oftentimes it's our mind that stops us. And we create this mental cage and it's just in our head. The door is wide open. We can walk out any second, yet we're keeping ourselves trapped right there year after year. And you have to come to a point of frustration like you did, Alicia, to just say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I need change.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you also need that 8-year-old self, which is being grateful for every little thing that you have. So I don't know about you, but when I was like 8 years old, I was always telling myself, like, you know what? When I have my own money, I'm just gonna go buy candy and eat whatever the heck I want. I don't need my parents' permission, right? So I sometimes think that the life that I have now, my 8-year-old self would die for it, would die in happiness to have my own home, have my own car, to have even $20 to go buy chocolate. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like this two perspectives. The 8-year-old self just makes you so joyful, abundant, grateful for every little thing that you have. And the 80-year-old self is always that kick in the butt, like, wake up. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I love that. I've never thought of it from like a child's perspective. Yeah, that's awesome. Because I feel like as humans, we have a negativity bias, so we focus on the negative more than the positive. So you have to actively remind yourself of all the things that you have in your life that you should be grateful for.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so going back to the topic about like helping out other students inside the community. So your number one kind of tip was attend the coaching calls. You had a ton of hunger. You took responsibility for it. Now, I also want to talk about students that come inside the program, and there's a very rare situation of people that do join the program and they just think, you know what, just because I joined this, I am gonna get success magically falling from the sky. And they don't do their work. They're the ones that don't show up to the coaching calls, any of that stuff. um, what would your wake up message to them would be? Like,
Um,
intervention, let's go.
get your shit together. Like it's not enough to just like sign up. You have to show up. You have to do the work. That is the most important part. It's like great to have guidance, but nobody's going to do it for you. You have to do it. And then you're going to feel more rewarded in the end because you know that you deserved it because you put the work in.
Yeah,
Don't slack off.
100%.
Don't be lazy.
Ooh, there you go. I'm gonna have this on repeat inside the course. Don't be lazy.
Love that.
Just a gif of you saying, don't be lazy. Um, but I do remember you were kind of struggling with sales in the beginning a little bit. I remember you were telling me like, oh, I'm kind of bummed out. Like it didn't work out for me in terms of like I haven't been able to book a single person. We had some pep talks. Do you want to go into that for a little bit?
Oh my God, Mahmood. I was so like down in the beginning. I was so depressed. I was like, why isn't it working? What am I doing wrong? What's wrong with me? And I went down like this like dark, dark path in my head. And then I just by happen chance booked somebody and I was like totally thrown off when they said yes in the call. I was like, whoa, what? And after that, I had that spark of hope. And then I started booking more and more clients over time. And I realized the beginning was I was just going through the growing pains at first because I was new to it. I didn't really have the practice, the experience in sales. So I was learning and, I made a lot of mistakes for sure, but you learn from your mistakes. So I don't regret that at all. Um, so I'm glad that I pushed through because the beginning was tough. I'm not gonna lie, it was really tough.
Yeah. Do you remember how many calls you got on and like it didn't work out?
I think it was like my 10th call that finally
Ooh,
booked, but I did
okay.
like 9 calls and none of them booked with me. So it was really, really tough because I was really putting myself out there and trying and it wasn't working. So it was like a hit to my ego as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely natural. Do you remember like because we had a ton of conversations around your mindset and also like sales and like showing up with confidence. Was there like one or two key pieces of coaching information that shifted your perspective and maybe helps you get that 10th call into a yes?
Um, Honestly, I think the 10th call was kind of out of luck.
Okay.
It was kind of funny because during that call, I called the groom by the wrong name. And when I did that, I was like certain that it was not gonna work out. But he decided that they wanted to go through with it, and I was like, wow, I was shocked. So that was more out of luck, I think. It's kind of hard to say if
Yeah.
something specific from the coaching calls that helped with that one, but I will say for the subsequent calls, I feel like I had nailed the script by then, and I was able to make it come out more natural. Like before, I was going through it and trying to find the questions, but I ended up learning to listen to them and what they were saying, and then deriving the questions based on their answers. So it became more natural, and I think that helped a lot. And also just having the confidence, it made a big difference. I think people can see when you're confident and when you're not, um, like needy.
Hmm.
In the beginning, I would say I was like more desperate, but later on, when I realized, there's going to be more and more leads, it doesn't matter if this one works out or not. I kind of let go, and I let go of the outcome,
Yep.
and that helped a lot for sure. So learning to um, like shift my mindset as I'm the prize, they're not the prize. That was a big one for me. And I remember you told me to write down a list of things I'm grateful for. And that was something that I did. And I keep it right in front of my computer, and I look at it every time I have a consultation call. And also, there's like other advice that I've heard that I've implemented, like your physiology impacts your psychology. So I try to like make myself big like this
Yep.
before the consultation, take up space, which increases your confidence. So yeah, those were the main things. It was, I think confidence was the biggest thing that I struggled with, and also the most impactful factor for me.
Yeah. Nice. Gotcha. Last question. What would you say is the guaranteed paths to failure in this program?
Don't try. Don't show up to the calls. Don't ask questions. Don't implement any of the advice that you're being given. Just keep doing the same thing that you've been doing.
Which is insanity.
Yes.
Love it. Anything else that you'd like to add? Any final thoughts?
uh, No, not really. I just want to thank you for all of
Oh,
your support and sharing your expertise. It's really been life-changing, and I appreciate that a lot.
I appreciate you. I'm here for you no matter what. So I appreciate
Thanks
you.
so much. Appreciate that.